Hi, my name is Rickard, and in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add lens flares in Photoshop. Lens flares are a great addition to a composite. Because lens flares are optically captured in camera, by adding a lens flare at the end of a composite, you're kind of bringing the whole image together. Also, it's a nice effect for photos or other images you're working on just to give it that extra punch. So let's go ahead and do the tutorial. Okay, so we're going to start with this photo here, and I'm going to show you how to quickly add some lens flares. So a few things about lens flares first that we need to know. The lens flares that come with Photoshop are not very good. I'm going to show them to you real quick. Whenever you add a lens flare to any kind of document, you always want to put it on its own layer. Now the problem with the lens flares in Photoshop is that you can't do them on an empty layer. So what I usually do is I make sure my color here is black, and then I fill the layer holding Option Delete, and then I put the layer on screen. So there you go. Now we can go Filter, Render, Lens Flare. Okay, so here you can see the lens flare, and you can see the ones that come with Photoshop. Not very good. You can make them brighter, not so bright. But the one thing that's important to know is that where the center of the flare is will affect where these polygonal light aberrations occur. And the reason for that is if we look at a lens, any lens is made up of multiple pieces of glass. And when the light comes into the lens to go onto the film or to the sensor, that light's coming in. But if there's a really bright light, what will happen is that bright light will actually reflect off of the surface of an interior piece of glass, bounce a couple of times before hitting back into the backplate. And that's how lens flares happen. Now, most modern lenses have coatings and so forth to prevent lens flares from happening, because in most scenarios you really don't want a lens flare. So where you're going to get a lens flare with a modern lens is if you have, for example, the sun or a laser pointed in, something that theoretically is going to damage your film or damage your sensor. So it's something you want to avoid. But lens flares are a great visual. I mean, there's something that we're so used to seeing from growing up with earlier lenses that had lens flares and so forth, that they kind of act as a nice visual element that you can use. And you can use them as a post effect. J.J. Abrams does this a lot in his films, where he'll add a lot of lens flares. The nice thing about a lens flare, especially with a composite, is that it creates the illusion that the image in front of you was captured inside a camera with a lens on it, right? So a composite, you're normally, when you composite something, you're creating something that is impossible to capture in camera. But to sell the effect, you want people to still think that it was captured in a camera. And so that's why lens flares are a great tool for compositors and digital artists. Okay, so back to my point here. You can see as I move the light source around, these refractions change location. And the reason for that is you can consider this little green spot here, the center of your lens, and how that light bounces around in the lens is affected by where the location of your light source is. Okay. So this can also, if it's pointed directly in, that looks more just like a lens flare with a bunch of circles around it. It doesn't quite have the same effect as something a little off center like that. So generally, when you're adding a flare, you want it to be a bit off center. And one of the reasons I added on a black layer is I can always move it around afterwards. All right, so let's put it there. Let's select, none of these are great, which is why you'll find a lot of lens flares available for purchase. And actually, if you go down to the description of this video, I link to both a free lens flare kit that you can get and also my full lens flare kit that you can get, which that one's paid for, but I do have a sample of 10 lens flares that you can get for free, and the link is down below. All right, so let's go ahead and put that there, and let's hit OK. And let's say I want this light here to be the source of the lens flare. I can also, by the way, this is another little trick I used to do before I stopped using the default Photoshop lens flares, is what you can do is you can make a copy of your primary layer where you want the lens flare to show up. And if it's a composite, what you can do is hold down Shift Option Command E, and what that'll do is it'll make a copy, a flattened copy of all the layers below. So now you have that, and what you can do is go Filter, Render, Lens Flare, put it where it should be in the image. So in this case, it's going to go right there. Hit OK, then turn on your black layer and hit Command F to repeat it. Now I can throw this one away, put this one on screen, and I have the lens flare where I want it. All right, so there you can see that's how you add a lens flare in Photoshop with the Photoshop lens flare. But what I'm going to show you now is how to add some better looking lens flares. So I have a few lens flares here, and I'm going to add a few. So let's start with lens flare 5. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. I'm just dropping it in. Then I'm going to put it on screen, which is Shift Option S. Then I can drag it, and I want to put one here. And I'm going to do Command T for transform, move my location to the center of the light point, and then I can drag that up or down. I can also move this around. So, that's essentially what you're doing is you're placing it and then you're transforming it. So in this case, I actually don't want to rotate it. So just put that back to 0. Oh, it is on 0. Good. All right, so let's double click. That looks good. Now, you'll notice that where the lens flare ends, in this case, yeah, you can see it here. It's not easy to see, but there is a line there, and sometimes what I'll do to make sure I don't have those is I'll put a white layer on top. So I'll do that, and then just put it on like 10%. And that'll actually show up some of the errors more clearly. In this case, it's not making much difference because this lens here already doesn't have strong bleed off edges. But just for shits and giggles, I'm going to go on the gradient, make sure my foreground color is black, make sure I'm going from foreground color to transparent, and then just gradient in toward the flare so that I don't have any hard edges. There you go. All right, I'm going to go back to my flares here, and I want to use flare 29. Make that bigger. Put that on screen. Put that for the other light here. And that's pretty good. Well, let's put a gradient there. Here you can actually see more clearly the edge there that we want to get rid of. Good, so that looks pretty good. Now we do have these two kind of competing lines, which I'm not crazy about. So I'm going to unmask or unlink the mask, Put on transform. This one's already on center. I'm just going to line up those two most obvious lines there so we don't have that competition happening. That looks better to me. And what I may want to do is, because this one's a little bit further back, is make it a little bit smaller as well. Good. All right, let's go back to our flares. And next I want to use this one. What I want to do here is put it on this green light. And in this case, I am going to turn it like this. And because we always want these kind of pointing toward our center, I'm going to do this as opposed to this. So that. And let's put that on screen. Put it there. And let's do Command U for hue saturation. And I just want to move that more toward turquoise to match our light source there. That looks pretty good. All right, and let's add a mask to that. Little gradients there. Make sure we have nothing bleeding off. That looks good. And finally, I want flare 8. I want to make this one a bit bigger. And again, I want to turn it. So theoretically, these would be pointing towards center. So something like this. Let's put that on screen. And let's transform it a bit more. So theoretically, it would be like this, but I don't like it pointing directly like that. Actually, that might look cool. Let's do that. Okay. So like that. And yeah, I actually like that. Okay. Let's put a mask on there. Again, get those edges. Now this one, you'll notice, is quite sharp. It's got these very distinct lines there. Sometimes you want that. In this case, I don't really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blur it a bit. So I'm going to select my layer, go filter. Because it's a smart object, I can always change the amount of blur later. I'm going to go in Gaussian blur, select this so I can see here. Okay, so you can see there, and I just want to add blur enough until I don't see those hard lines anymore. So about there. Now obviously we're losing some of the nice detail there, so it's a little give or take, and entirely up to you and the look you're looking for. So there you go. We've now added the flares. Because we've added the flares, this kind of murky black is more obvious, so I actually want to fix that. I'm going to add a curves layer here, and toward the bottom I'm just going to pull the darks down a bit more. Get those flares standing out a little, maybe push up the lights. I'm liking that. And let's put all these flares into their own folder, which I did by just selecting them all using Shift and then Command G to put them in their own folder. Call that flares. And there you can see the before and after. The flares definitely add some kick to the image. Can actually put one more here. And let's flip this one around. Oops. There you go. And so there's the before and after. And helps bring the whole image together. And it's quite easy to add some flares. And as I mentioned earlier, the flares help sell the illusion that the image was captured in a camera. So I use flares quite a lot when I'm doing composites. Although usually when I add them to a composite, I try not to have too many of these polygonal light refractions, because usually when you're taking a photo, you have the light rays coming from light sources, but you only usually have one set of those polygonal light refractions, which will be coming from whatever the most dominant light source is. So there you have it. That's how you add flares into Photoshop. Like I said in the tutorial, if you go down to the description, you can download the flares that I used in this tutorial, which are part of my full Photoshop starter kit. My Photoshop starter kit includes a whole bunch of assets that are great for compositors, digital artists, and Photoshop editors. So go ahead, download it. It's in the links. Otherwise, please subscribe and leave me any comments. I'll always try to answer them quickly. See you next time. Oh, and don't forget. See that right there? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to subliminally put it on my desk here so that you guys figure out what to do.